friend.
Giotto is convalescing after its trip through Halley's comet. Scientists from the European Space Agency are delighted with the success of the probe, which made its close encounter with the comet late last night. Giotto received a terrific battering from the dust clouds which surround Halley's centre, but survived to pass through to the opposite side. It could now be used on an extended mission. Well, this afternoon the Space Agency published the first picture of the centre of the comet in its natural colour. Our science correspondent James Wilkinson reports.
This is the first real-colour, recognisable picture of Halley's comet. Its tiny black nucleus in the top left-hand corner spewing forth great clouds of dust and gas. It represents a triumph for European engineers and space scientists. Giotto's dramatic encounter with the comet began better than scientists had expected. It passed through the comet's bow shock easily enough, and for quite a while suffered remarkably few hits by tiny particles. It started to send back vivid false-colour pictures, showing detail not seen before. As Giotto began its final approach to the comet, the going became much more difficult. Hundreds of particles a second rained into the spacecraft's shield. The punishment Giotto took began to affect some of its instruments. Then comparatively large particles, the size of half a grain of rice, began to slam into it. The last picture sent back was taken from 900 miles away. They had hoped to take a much closer photograph. For a while, scientists feared the spacecraft had been lost. Contact has been maintained, though. But it's clear Giotto is bruised and battered. Scientists are euphoric about the success of the mission. And already they've learnt new facts about the comet. Its nucleus is blacker than coal, according to one scientist. It's at least 9 miles long and 2.5 miles wide, and irregular in shape. There could be 2 distinct jets of dust and gas coming from it, or perhaps a gash or vent down one side. It rotates slowly, giving off some 20 tons of gas and dust a second, and it's warmer than expected. The scientists celebrated last night. Their mission has taken years to prepare. They described it as an outstanding success.
Giotto's look at the heart of Halley. Later in the programme, in the murky deep, the divers who found the...
The information it sent back last night will take 2 years to analyse, but could disclose vital clues to the origin of the universe. Dust and debris slightly damaged Giotto's camera, but the spacecraft will now be put into an Earth orbit on the trail of another comet.
This is the first clear, recognisable picture of Halley's comet. Its tiny black nucleus in the top left-hand corner spewing out 20 tons of dust and gas a second. It represents a triumph for European engineers and scientists. Giotto's dramatic encounter with the comet began better than scientists had expected. As it sped towards the comet, it sent back vivid false-colour pictures, showing detail not seen before. As it got closer, the going became more difficult. It flew into a wall of dust. Hundreds of particles a second slammed into the spacecraft's shield. The punishment Giotto took began to affect some of its instruments. As it neared its closest point, the pictures began to falter and finally faded altogether. For nearly half an hour, there were fears Giotto had been seriously damaged, but scientists soon regained contact. Now, bruised and battered, Giotto is speeding away. The high-speed pass has already revealed startling new facts about the comet. Its nucleus is said to be blacker than coal, peanut-shaped and over 9 miles long. There could be 2 distinct jets of dust and gas coming from it, or it may have a gash or vent down one side. The scientists celebrated last night. Their mission had taken years to prepare. They described it as an outstanding success.
The agency has decided that the space probe Giotto is to be parked in orbit until it's sent on another rendezvous. Scientists say last night's close encounter with Halley's comet was an outstanding success. Giotto, badly damaged by its experience, managed to send back pictures of Halley's nucleus. It's being described as among the darkest objects ever detected in the solar system.
As the seconds ticked away towards the overnight space rendezvous, scientists at Mission Control in West Germany became more excited by the variety of pictures Giotto was beaming back home. About 3,000 psychedelic images were relayed to Earth as the probe raced on at 150,000 miles an hour. The finest and clearest told scientists that Halley was a dark, icy, uncut jewel in a shroud of dust and vapor, though its brilliant colours merely defined the intensity of light and dark around it. But then at 10 minutes past midnight, with Giotto just 2 minutes and 75 miles from its planned closest encounter, the pictures began to falter and then disappeared. Fears now that Giotto had been destroyed in the cosmic blizzard of dust particles which were showering from the comet. A desperate space search then began until 25 minutes later, Giotto was found. The probe had battled its way across Halley's path and was clear heading further into space. The camera, though, was damaged. The picture show was over. Back at the Space Agency, it was declared mission successful. Now comes the task of analysing the probe's findings, and already there have been surprises. For instance, it's now accepted that the comet is bigger than thought, measuring about 7 miles by 4. And tonight it revealed that scientists got the nature and location of the comet's heart wrong. They knew the blaze of colours gave no indication as to the comet's makeup, but thought its nucleus would be around the 2 brightest points. Instead, they've discovered the centre is above and beyond that area and is described as looking like a piece of coal with its tail behind. More discoveries will follow.
I hope that when these pictures are processed, they will actually show you something of the comet's geology, rifts, ravines, places where the gas and dust are coming out. But I don't think that's going to happen. The processing's not going to happen for a few days yet.
Meanwhile, Giotto bids farewell to its photographic prey and heads out into space, destination unknown.
An American diplomat